Once you've successfully uploaded work samples for each of your students, it's time to score the work samples in the system. You can do that by going to the Worksamples tab here on the left, not to be confused with the scoring or scoring history tabs. Those are for cross-scoring, which we'll talk about later. But to score work samples, you're going to go to the Worksample tab here on the left. No matter where you are, so if you uploaded your student work and then you needed to stop the process, when you're ready to score those work samples, you'll go to this Work Samples tab on the left. So again, you're going to see some common buttons. You have the I, which if you click is going to allow you to view the work sample that you checked in. If you look at this work sample and you notice that it's not the correct work sample for the student, you can hit delete work sample and then upload a new work sample for that student. The other button that you're going to see on this page is the star button. The star button is going to be the button you push when you are ready to score the work sample. So you will click the star button. It will take you to a very similar page as you just saw, except for it will show you the elements portion of the work sample. At this point, you would enter in the scores for the student as they reflect your course standards. If you have questions at this point about what you should be entering in or how you score the work sample, please reach out to us so we can clarify to make sure you are entering in the correct information into the ORSkills. But again, this is going to be based off of your course standards and your portfolio elements. So you would enter in the scores that the student received for this sample. You can leave comments if you need to, and then you would hit submit. At that point, the evaluation box will shrink down and you'll be able to still see what you scored this work sample as and see the student view. If we go back to that work samples page, we can see that this work sample now does not have that star element. That means that you have scored the work sample and there's nothing else you need to do in this portion of ORSkills. You can see over here that the status still says waiting for scores. What that means is that this work sample was selected to be cross-scored in our system. As long as the star is no longer present, you have scored this work sample and you have done your piece of the scoring process. So for example, if we score this work sample, and go back to the work samples page, we can see that this one has changed to pass. Most of your work samples are going to change to that status of passed, which just means that you've scored them and they've passed and are eligible to earn a grade. But this one still says waiting for scores. You do not need to do anything at this point. When the cross-scoring process takes place, you will see that change from waiting for scores to pass, but this does not inhibit you from being able to give your student a grade. We use cross-scoring as a way to maintain rigor and consistency across our grading and as a way of continual improvement. So whatever grade you assign your student as the classroom teacher is the grade that they will earn. Cross-scoring does not change that. So if you have a student in the system who you've given a score to, but it says waiting for scores, you can still give them a grade. And at one point, someone will come through and cross-score them, and we will use that on our end to make sure that we do the final step, which is submitting a grade for the students in the system.